다그서 저기 신점도 거 납죠 점도 저기다 동안에 타 아니 탈바다 탐지기 묘고 봐 토야래야 아니 야 저기 은지 겹된 법고 나는 그래서 겹숨이야 점도지 오래서 지산 점도지네 다 점도 납자들 가르 납고라나 나저 이게 지금 최야 최섬 퇴바다 삼바지야다 최섬 공tum지야라서 봐 안디면비게다 거기에 가서 융화 예수님 예죄도냐 안에 개어주야 안에디 하는 가지고 납자 될래야 냐면 제거래서 디신디 거시네 안에나 저기 게디기 개어봐야다 안에 가서 개 디버봐야다 안에 개화디게 냐면 제거해서 안디 거기서 인터넷 쉬러다.
In the section previous to this, we were looking at refuge, and in the refuge discussion, we spoke about how one turns to the three jewels for refuge, having generated, firstly, the strong wish to attain liberation, freedom from suffering, and combined with this, the second aspect that one has when one goes for refuge to the three jewels is a conviction that the three jewels are able to provide one with refuge from suffering or protection from suffering, in particular through generating the Dharma jewel within oneself. That is the protection that is our protection from suffering, the realizations of true paths and cessations. And then in the refuge section, we concluded by looking at the trainings of refuge. And if we summarize these in brief, it is to hear the Buddha Dharma, reflect on its meaning, coming to the point where one can actually meditate on the meaning of the Buddha Dharma. And now we're in the section on causality, on karma, and here we're talking about what in particular this refers to. In brief, it is that we need to accumulate virtue and abandon non-virtue. There's identification then of what is virtue, what is non-virtue, and these are the causes of what is virtuous that we need to accumulate, and we need to abandon engaging in what is non-virtuous and will thereby lead to suffering.
dunga yonga gyudi kare chigore labna and migwadile migiwi gyuchepale tene and dunga yongores chesa ta dunga yonga dunga di mo wenzang dunga meba soyala dunga yonga gyudi meba soyores chesa dunga yonga gyu migewadi meba maso baina ane dunga di meba soy tukmare ejirwada ta dene za da ngaranzulia ane dewa kugore digi kugores chesa digi yonga digi yonga digi gyudi kugores 대기 규디 가르스나 아니 개화도 그래서 지상 개화도 봐이나 개화 될라 때니 디기 용고래 지상 대화 용역이 유 개화 되는 거 듣고 그래서 지상 간주기 디바 뽕고래 개화 듣고 그래서 시어그 김전로 되는 거 지상 디바 뽕한자 그래서 동아 먹고 와서 동아 규디 디바도 매봐 쇠샤 봐이나 된 동아 요 말해지래 지상 다 된거 대화 고와인자 대화 용역이 규디 간주 주바이나 근데 제보딩아도 대화디 용 투구요 완자 재산 디보 뽕 개어 줍스는 레 균제세야지 시에디서 디바디 규제레 규제 디 제보들라 동아제 개와디 규레 개와디 규제 디 제보디 안 데리고 대화요야디 제보제 재산 레 균제게 남샤세 디히고로.
The reason that we are so encouraged in the Buddha Dharma to abandon all that is non-virtuous and accumulate virtue is because of this instinctive yearning we all have to experience only happiness, and not fleeting happiness, but happiness that is lasting and stable and is never interrupted by suffering. And thereby we are liberated from suffering, or this state of stable happiness comes about through being liberated from suffering. And this is why we are now in this section on causality, on cause and effect, or on karma. And we're starting now our fourth class on karma. Because recognizing that we want to be free of all form of pain and difficulty and unwanted circumstances, both slight and major, we have to identify the causes that result in suffering. We need to recognize what the causes are that have as their effect suffering, because then we know what we need to abandon. And similarly, longing for happiness, the process is the same. We need to identify the causes which are virtue or virtuous minds. And these are what we must accumulate, in other words, strengthen our virtuous minds, because they have the effect, the result of happiness. So this is the process of cause and effect, identifying the causes that lead to the effect of suffering, the afflicted minds which lead to the effect of suffering, and abandoning those, turning away from them, ceasing them, bringing them to an end. And its companion is recognizing the causes that lead to the effect of happiness. In other words, virtuous minds. And these are what we then therefore need to strengthen, become habituated to, because these are the causes that lead to the desired effect, the longed for result of happiness.
And then Dipa diki pambala ane karako wasna payagi ta dipa panguru sempigi donyergi samba de pangdugi donyergi samba shukchembuge la ane digbi digi tebu dunga digi samdang korejirwa jizan tebu dipa dichebane dunga dine yungure sepigi samdawayna ane digi dunga dine yombana denigi gyudigwa da zawagine panguru sempigi samludu shukcheleruwa 저기 대화 대위고 삼다바나 지난 디니기 대화 디니디 연구를 했으면 삼다바나 지난디 대화 되어봐서 대위기 안 개화디 두비하게 되냐게 되고 쉬운 거래 지난 디니자 저기 레균제 공구에 라면도 당아서 람림 냠네 지도 당아 레균게 남샤디게 공구에 라도 근데 가서 삼다야레스나 먼저 디바세데 디니디니레서 디바파 뭐였음 따고 디바 뭐였음 디 제보도 동아 되네 연구해서 동아 되게 된 삼다 되네 삼다네다 되네 인자다 제보 동아도 먹어왔다 디규 동아 미가도 빵고도 선배게 빵고도 선배 삼로디 숙지 안에 양도 삼다야디 레규도 고마스직 차거래 양 저기 대화 되게 삼다제 대위 용역 규디 개화디로 벌 때네 먼저 대화디네 연구를 되네 자다 먼저 대화도 고원자 규디 두고도 제가 규될 때네 개화 연구도 선배 연구 봐서 되네게 삼다 지나 되네 인자다 개화디 두고도 선배 되냐게 듬바게 두 삼다제 규등 제비게 남샤 삼다 되네 동하게 규 가수녀모 가서 미가 빵되기 듬바들 야네도 삼다야다 대화 삼다 대위규 아니 요하게 개화디 주비게 듬바 둥이게 야네야도 삼다 두 삼다에 아주 레규데 공부하세 최고래.
This presentation on cause and effect is of crucial importance. Hence, we're going through it slowly so that a clear understanding can arise. In order for these meditations to have a transformative effect in the sense that one commits to striving to abandon non-virtue and to engage in the accumulation of virtue, and a transformative effect in the sense that this is what one always does. One is always aware and strives to accomplish the abandonment of non-virtue and the accumulation of virtue. So in order to give rise to such a mind, in particular in a way that it does transform one, that it's stable and powerful, one needs to reflect on the results of suffering. Because it's through reflecting on the results or the effects that are suffering that one gives rise to a strong wish of, I do not want to suffer in any of these ways. And it's independent on giving rise to this determination not to suffer, that thus becomes abundantly clear to us, overwhelmingly clear for us, that we then, the recollection on the causes that lead to this undesired result becomes very powerful. And this leads to a change from deep within us, a change that I no longer will engage in following these habitual tendencies that lead me to accumulate the causes of suffering. These, when they arise, I will abandon. I will not follow them. And this is, in brief, how we engage in abandoning non-virtue. Similarly, a longed-for state of happiness. We reflect on that, giving rise to the wish of, it is suffering that I want to be freed from, and it's happiness that I want to abide in. I want my experiences only to be of lasting, stable happiness. And when this arises with us in a powerful way, we'll identify clearly the causes that lead to such a state. Virtuous minds, minds of the Buddha Dharma, and those are what we'll strive to cultivate. So this presentation here on cause and effect, or causality, or karma, is of crucial importance, because it's through reflecting on effects, on results, that we'll see, this is not what I want, this is. And thereby, our follow-on our meditations on the causes that lead to these results will have greater enthusiasm to identify those causes, and then, having reflected firstly on effects and then on their causes, our mind will become powerful. We'll have a determination that even if we are greatly habituated to particular afflicted minds, non-virtuous ways of thinking, these we will readily strive to abandon, to turn away from. And where we have a good habituation to virtuous ways of thinking, these will readily and more easily strengthen. And where our habituation to other virtuous minds are weaker, we'll readily, easily strive to strengthen and develop these virtuous ways of thinking. So this is why this presentation here, that we now come to our fourth talk on, is of such importance.
gewa trubdigi donyegi dumbadi pha komni ane yado komde dumbadi shukche rogura chisan gewa trubdigi dumbadi kazi shukche yobaina dina nganzo gewa trubi jawa le jawa che ngurwa chisan dibo pongdigi donyegi kazi dibo pongdu sambe samno de kazi shukche yobaina ane nganzo digbi legegi gohabchi denigi 뒤갑치려베네 디글레가네 마치바치 송투르와 데네자 곰고에기 김전로 디바 빵디기 돈이 듬바 빵고도 선비 송베 선바 고미아다 개월 두디기 돈이 듬바 콤바니디 같이 숙체 조베네 아주기 개월 두베다 개월 개위 두야게 자월 베주시야 아네 디바 제기 데니기 겐리아 람상 디보 송야랴 베주치 투고와
A key point to make here, as we do in all the various meditation topics, is for meditation to have a transformative effect, needs to be done repeatedly over a sustained period. This is a crucial point. We need a daily meditation practice, and we need to build on it. And building on it comes, to be able to build on it, is a natural result of having a sustained practice, because as we start to experience a transformation, we'll want to engage in it ever more. We're starting to see we're skilled, and we'll want to develop our skills. So here, as we reflect more on the need to cultivate virtue, what is virtue, these virtuous minds, the need for this, as we become habituated to this meditation, firstly on reflecting on the effect of virtue, happiness, and then the causes of happiness, virtue, as we become habituated to this desire for such a goal and understanding the causes, we will seek out, or rather, when our mind is virtuous, we'll recognize it as such and embrace it. Ensure it remains virtuous. And when we notice our virtuous minds are wavering, we'll readily strengthen them, because this is something we believe in from deep within. And correspondingly, as we reflect on suffering and its causes, and those causes become unwanted causes, as we become habituated to reflecting on this repeatedly over a sustained period, when we notice we are now entering into a situation of great danger. Great danger in the sense that this is a situation where my afflicted mind will readily arise. We'll restrain our mind, we'll guard our mind, and ensure that our virtuous minds stay dominant, and our afflicted minds, these minds that are the causes of all our pain and anguish, these we don't allow to ripen. These stay subdued due to the power of our virtue. And this way of thinking becomes habitual, independent on repeated meditation on causality over a sustained period. Tonight I'm going to recap a little bit of the text that I covered last week, because I understand that what's mentioned in a very abbreviated way in the Tibetan, in the English has been translated in a more expansive way. So tonight I will recover that in a more expansive way so that it matches what you have in the text, in your text. So we'll be starting at the bottom of page 24.
Semjang so chube kabla ta semjang gi delaya ane kunlong yo ne diva chawa yong go cha jikje ane ngoyo go ne diva chawa cha jikje ta yugi chane diva chawa cha sa ondus chene yong go re.
So the section we're going to look at starts on page 24, right near the bottom. It starts with, as explained here, abandon all negativity, continues over the page. We see there we have four points, and then a paragraph that leads to just before a quotation in a verse. So please do look at that, because the Tibetan is very brief. The English is expanded, and the order of the Tibetan and the English also doesn't match closely. So as the translator, I'll translate what Geshe says, but the order is going to be a little different, so just page between the two. So now to translate what he's just said. So here it makes the text makes specific reference to the 10 non-virtues of body, speech, and mind. So these 10 non-virtues are listed here, and there are 3 of physical activity, 4 of verbal, and 3 mental. And these are how we engage in them through the 3 doors. So the Tibetan only mentions the 3 doors, but we have them translated here as the doors of body, speech, and mind. And then immediately the Tibetan talks about there's a graded effect of relating to the strength. And here we see minor, medium, and heavy degrees of strength. So what ensures that a particular action, there are various aspects that can make a particular action more or less powerful. And so these are, for example, in the act of killing, the motivation, the strength of the motivation, the way that the killing was done, as well as the object that was killed, the being that was killed. So these are 3 illustrations that would have an impact on whether the act of killing, or 3 aspects of the act of killing, which have an impact on whether the result is minor, medium, or heavy. And that would be, for example, the motivation, the manner in which the killing was performed, as well as the object, the being that was killed.
kodu yuningbu sammadang che an jik kuno jik yoba che semje suedu ki da semje suedu suega kuno che yungruwa denegi yubi kuno yuningbu sammadang che ne an ji cheba ne che ne suebi ki semje sueba jikda yang jik yuningbu ma na ngi di suego yin sembe ke samlamangbo da je yang ne yang do samda di suegi sembe ke dingi di samda ju du che kuno 수에게 삼부군은 균능부 삼다제 semjingi suewa jidang da kunong 균능부 삼마제 거두 들려 안 빼나서 어딘게 수ewa sem베게 거두 들려 수에도 kunong 예지 직 semje suewa 있나 근데 semje 식 수ewa 있나 니니 니가 semje 수ewa 지과래데 이나야 니가 치중 가르치에 차르스네 메디 semjen데 수ewa 있는 삼비가 kunong의 균능부네 망부의 균능부 삼다제 수에게 수에나 근데 kunong의 어게 니바디 chawares and the kudu dilyang so was me nyama sam gyune mewache kudu dilyang simja so was me kunwa kieche simja soba ina di simja soba jibare de ina kunwa di simja so de kunwa yor de ina kunwa di gyunu ya ma thongthong ba de mewaza digi kunwa wangi diba chungwa cha ya che pe na zo ge beju ro ji da pe ni nya ro da karina soba ina de ni she.
Let's look at then some of these aspects of a particular act that have an impact on the strength of the karmic seed that is accumulated and therefore the strength of the ripening result. So let's take the act of killing and the aspect of motivation. So here the person kills a sentient being, whether it's a fish or a cow. Here we're not talking about the object that's killed, but there is a motivation to kill. So there's an intention. The objects, such the sentient being, such as a cow or a fish or whatever, is intentionally killed, purposefully killed. So no differentiation we're not going to discuss differentiation in terms of whether there was a motivation or not, or what the object was. But we're going to look within the motivation. So there can be a motivation to kill, that is where one acts under the sudden impulse to kill. The thought arises to kill this sentient being, and one does so. So there's a sudden impulse, and it's acted upon, and the animal or the being is killed. Compare that to where the motivation was not a sudden impulse, but there was extensive prior planning, preparation, and thought to killing. How to kill, why to kill, a long duration of motivation. So here, these two acts, both the same being is killed, the same act of killing, but the motivation, the duration of the motivation varies greatly, and therefore the strength of the motivation, and therefore the strength of the karmic imprint that is accumulated, and therefore the strength of the karmic result that will be experienced. So here we can see how the karmic imprint and result will greatly differ independent on the strength of the motivation, in this case the duration of the motivation.
다양 지금도 배중식 수업이나 단 수업이 qabля 군노들라 니가 직전에 니가 균능본에 아니 군노 수업했으면 군노 여바이나다 아직 거두들이야 아니 수업이 군노로 깨바이나다 다 가실래 군노들에 캬바메 바이나양 다 수업이 qabля 배주도 수업이 남사 곧 수업샤바이나 아니 수업샤바치다 양 수업이 qabля 배 콜레 깔레 나르슈 땅 깔레 따지 수여줘봐 뒤수여봐 있나 그 수디 qabля 콜이 조금만 수여봐지 빼 나르셔 땅 깔레 슈땅 되네기 진에 수여봐 있나 뒤수여베디 semje 수여디 디버 쳐와래 다 거도 되네기 수디 qabля 나르셔마 따지 거도 들려 아니 지고 지야 수여샤는 멤다기 수여가는 수여나 또 균능부 깔레 슈 담아 수여봐지 되네기 나르셔 슈 담아 수여봐지 균능부 나르셔마 따지 거도 수여샤봐 있나 딘이디 배중식 수업아 직발에 군노아 직발에 여바이네야 수요탕 들려베 균유모 날줘다 깔래시오 도구시오 따세나 디바치에 거래시래 난 되네 마제바제 그도디 수여샤바네 디니디 디바체는 디바충아래지래.
Take then another aspect that has a great impact on the strength of the karmic seed and therefore the result experienced. So we take killing, and here there is a motivation to kill, whether it's an impulse or there's been lengthy prior planning is not what we're going to look at now. We've already looked at that. So there is a motivation, its duration is not what we're going to look at, and there is an object, again whether it's a cow or fish, this isn't what we're going to look at, and it did die, the result is the same. But what we will look at then is the performance of the act, because the performance of the act has an impact on the strength of the karmic seed accumulated and therefore the result to be experienced. So if the being is killed quickly in a way that causes, in a way that minimizes the suffering, the fear, the pain that the being is experienced, that has a particular impact on the result when compared to the performance of the act of killing, which is slow, no care is taken to ensure that it's swift, there's tremendous suffering in terms of pain, in terms of fear. So here we see a great difference in the performance, either on one hand being sudden with the pain and fear minimized, and on the other hand a slow death, a lingering death, where the being is filled with fear and filled with immense pain. So here in the performance there's a stark difference, and therefore the strength of the karmic seed and the resulting effect will differ.
유기 전에 안에 디바치중 가령 보르세네 베네 저기 다 군노다 데디기 삼다 모치다 그 배주주쇠기 셈지 배주주쇠바다 안에 랑기 끝변해라죠 베네 밀로 샤베 나가지 미주쇠베이네 다 미직쇠바다 안에 랑기 파마다 랑기 기비신yen다 데네 람 냠내지기 공죽지긴기 데네기 전수셈바다 람 냠내지 데네 쇠바이나 안에 미큐마지 쇠바디다 랑기 파마 쇠바다 랑기 기엔쇠기 쇠바니디 디버치 수요르세네 다 랑기 파마 쇠바다 안에 지게 랑기 기엔 라소바다 데네기 람 냠내지겐 두번 냠내지겐 전수셈바 라소바 데네 쇠바네 샤라기 디버치와레지네.
We've spoken about then how the strength of the karmic imprint and the strength of its, and thereby the strength of its result, is impacted in terms of aspects to do with the motivation as well as aspects to do with the performance. So then let's look at the object, because depending on what the object is or the type of being is that has been killed, there will also be a difference in the power or the strength of the karmic imprint accumulated. So if the motivation will be the same, the performance is the same, the outcome, death, intentional killing, is the same, but the objects, there's some difference. If on one hand, it's an ordinary being, but it's on the other hand, a being that has shown one tremendous kindness, such as one's parents, there's a great difference in the strength of killing if one kills one's parents. Likewise, if one compares the killing of an ordinary being to the killing of a being who's quite extraordinary, a being who's training in a way to be of great benefit to others, a being who has a path of a bodhisattva, of a bodhicitta in their continuum, so an actual bodhisattva, or a Buddha, of course, killing such a being, it causes a far greater, more powerful karmic imprint and thereby a more powerful result to be experienced. And then the third illustration would be to kill one's spiritual teacher, a being who is guiding one to accumulate the paths of freedom in one's continuum, paths of bodhicitta that can be of great benefit to others, a being who is so beneficial in your life. Killing your spiritual teacher is, of course, a greatly heinous act as well. So here that we look at how, in terms of the object or the type of being that is killed, this too will have an impact on the weight of the karmic imprint accumulated.
Tadi simcha socho bigi peda denegi socho chebala, socho cheba jiba inayang, denegi kunlongwe chane da, suetang ngoye chane da, ane yugi chane diba chishung sum chagidowa. Dina shinda nga docho, simcha socho jebi docho de surim soya dewa, simcha socho bangba dewa, socho bangbi gewa de. An diya jigba dewa, peda nga zuge simcha kasore, socho sungduge samba, socho sungba inba jigba inayang, kunlongwe ya, 수야게 semche 소적매 sempe samloti 같이 슉체고 군노디 같이 누베체 슉체 요베네 semche 소적 바와디 개바디 슉체제 군노 거체네 다 데니가 소적매 sempe게 야네야는 공바 메나야 소적 얘기 딘제 괜찮디와 어떤게 소적이매 sempe samloti 다진 semche 소마치바 지당 아니 녀만에 semche 소적 다오는 지매야 sempe게 수림 송지 야네야는 공제 한 소적 맞제바 신용으로 디니 가르게와 수림 소주 소야기 근데 개와이네 가르 뉴베치기라는 군롱의 차네 냐마능이 디니 심지 소직미야 선배 군롱의 야네 야도 삼다제 소주 맞제바이나 맞제디 개와디다 수림디 개와 체체거라 와데 개와라 공잖아 나야 지금 디니게다 뭐에 차 다 유기 가서라데 다 유다 디시오면 다디 수림라에 차와이네 군롱의 돈에 하는 것을 수림 써야 되나요? 개와 지숑 유와 지바 차거와.
That's an illustration of killing. How the act of killing can have the strength of the result that comes from killing can vary due to aspects such as the motivation, the manner of the killing, and the being that's killed. This is now in terms of, so that's of course an illustration of non-virtue. So let's then take an illustration of virtue. So the virtuous mind that we are encouraged to cultivate is the mind of restraint, the ethical mind of restraint that commits to protect life, not to take life, the commitment never to kill. So here, the same principles apply. The same principles that apply to non-virtuous acts apply to virtuous acts. The virtuous acts can and do vary in strength, in dependence on the strength of the varying aspects. So to take that of motivation, if one fleetingly gives rise to the wish, I will not kill, I will not harm another being, perhaps one sees something and this thought arises, I commit never to act in such a way. It's a virtuous mind. Great stores of virtue is accumulated, but their strength is going to be somewhat limited because it's just a fleeting thought. On the other hand, if someone repeatedly in one's meditation practice develops this commitment, I will not harm, I will not take life, I will not cause pain to others, I will ensure that in all circumstances I will not harm, I will never kill another. This is going to be a far more transformative thought, have a far greater transformative impact on one, and thereby the karmic imprints accumulated will be of far greater strength because of having meditated on this point repeatedly over a sustained period. Therefore, the habituation is so great within us, and therefore the karmic imprints of very powerful karmic results will be experienced.
난 오요 전에 안에 개화치중으로 수rim수에 소조 소야기 다 니미직이 다 소치기면서 니미직 수림 소조 수림 송제는 야산이나인데 와봐 안젤레 소야다 네 용으로 와 니미직 수림 소야다 나는 다와직 소야다 둔다직 소야다 네 용으로 와 안내기 소야기 소조 소야기 수림 되다 나는 이 참마차가 미지코로야 지금제 소주직미 삼제 수림수비 소야디 니보디 안에 가리 개화디 누베 치고래 람나 다 뭐 유능아 수림 소야디 다 누베 체체고로 와 안에 니미직 수림 소야디 다 삼제 소주 소야디다 안 미지코로 삼제 소주 소야 니보디 다 삼제 소주 소와 지바래데 지디다 유능부슈 공바인자 소와인자 수림디 누베 체체고라 개화 슉체체고래 니미직 소야디다 수림 소야디 개화디 슉충아 체고라.
A second way that we can cultivate a virtuous mind, such as the commitment not to harm, not to kill, and ensure that great virtue is accumulated through the same commitment is the duration that we promise to ourselves, I will not take life, I will not harm others, I will do everything I can to ensure that I'm careful and I don't cause pain and difficulty, certainly not take the life of others. So if one makes a solemn promise, today I will not take life, then one creates great stores of virtue, because one has promised for this entire 24-hour period, I will not kill, I will not take the life of another being. But if one makes with sincerity a commitment, I will not kill for a week or a month, so much more virtue is created because of the duration of the promise not to kill. And likewise, if one makes a lifetime commitment, for whatever duration I still will abide in this life, in this body, I commit to never intentionally killing another being. I will ensure that whether I live for just this day, week, month, or for many decades still, I will never intentionally kill another being. Such a commitment, of course, will lead to far greater store of virtue because of the greater duration of the commitment.
다 유기 차네야 다데네 치총 그래 그래서 유기들라 데네 가시에 dimora 부신 부충충 디게다 수익매 선배게 삼송해야 되다. 그래서 디스여베나 안에 지게 소설의 베이지에 판도스가요 말씀비. 아야지 소수기 신경 나디와 판도를 내가 디송한주 구글에서 부디스매 선배 삼다. 나데네 자야지 심전 샹다 안에 지금 샹다 디게 수익의 선배게 삼다. 다 송의 선바데 수좀 소야데 심전 충충 부신 충충 디게 베이지 메딩이 디게 수익매 선배게 송의 선바 직시 Yandala, son simia vajpena, Yada, Denisue, Songyada, Sayada, Denisam Tangurwa, and the Yugi Chane, Jimado, Simjin, Pamado, Something. Da Yajik, Simjin, Yugi Chane, Simjin Buddha, Buina, Mina, Dundokanin, Simjin Sosa Kanin, and Isu me, Sabi Suadi, that is Nuba Chigor, Yudilla, Soya de la Simjin, Chasan Simjin Kanin, Soju Ganishina. So you be ganishing and you me some sona chick down, sonadi, that dingy Niga chick sona chick where the Yugi Chane called Chickty Gawache or Chickty Gawachua.
There's also a difference in terms of the object that one commits not to kill. So if one makes the commitment, well, I'll endure the discomfort of insects and I won't kill them. And it makes the promise that one won't kill the insects one encounters in one's home or one's garden. It's a fantastic virtuous thing to do. But if one's promise is limited to, say, for example, just insects, then the weight of this virtue will also be limited. Because one is making no commitment to, for example, not to fish, or if one is a butcher, not to kill animals. So the weight of the virtue accumulated is limited because one's commitment, one's promise is limited. Whereas on the other hand, if one makes the promise that I will not kill any sentient being, whether an insect, a mammal, or a bird, or a fish, or a human, any being, I will not take their life. I will not end their life. Such a commitment, of course, carries far greater weight. The karmic result will be far more powerful, more potent, because of the object. So the object has an impact on the result, as does the duration of the commitment, as does the strength of the motivation within oneself, if it's sporadic or if it's sustained.
미개와 첨보다 아니 중원의 딩세야 되니게 어디네 첨보다 중원이 되네 차용으로 어다 나 딩세의 딩이게 기마들이야 딩이 차로로 나 디나신 도쇼 개와 류가 있으면 개와 주들이야 개와 주 첨보다 아니 딩다 중원세대 어디네 용거로.
These are then some illustrations of how the weight of the karmic imprint will vary. And this variation applies to both virtuous deeds and non-virtuous deeds. And depending on the aspects that we've discussed, such as the object to which the act is performed, the way that the act was performed, the performance, as well as the motivation, these all have an impact on whether the strength of the karmic seed, the weight of the karmic seed, is minor, middling, or heavy, or powerful rather. So therefore, these are we need to pay attention to these aspects when we cultivating the commitment not to engage in non-virtue and the commitment to engage in virtue. So now, just before I translate what Genna said, in this part in our English text, on the middling, on the weight of the karmic imprint, an example has been given. So that is not in the Tibetan. Genna is not very comfortable with this example, hence he hasn't mentioned it, because it's not in the Tibetan and he doesn't agree exactly with how it's been expressed, what's been expressed here. And now on to what Genna's just said. So for us in the English, it's just above this. Ripening results of karma. There are varying ripening results of karma. So a particular karmic seed can ripen in three ways. Again, our text expresses it as four because the second of the three can be broken into two. So the threefold division, which is what Genla has said, is in terms of the propelling karma, in terms of the propelling karma, or the causally concordant result, or the environmental result. So these are the three. The second one, the causally concordant, has two subdivisions, and our text mentions that. The first is the fully ripened result, or the propelling result, and the fourth is the environmental result. So in brief, the fully ripening result, the propelling karma of non-virtue, is rebirth in the lower realms. So when a non-virtuous deed ripens in a propelling karma, propels a rebirth, it leads to rebirth in the lower realms. Then the second type of the threefold division, causally concordant. A causally concordant result is subdivided into two. We have in the second and third, the causally concordant experiential effect and the causally concordant behavioral effect. So these two come from are two subdivisions of the causally concordant result. So those are three, and then the fourth one is the environmental result. So here an important point to make is that a karmic imprint, when it ripens into a result, it can ripen into one of these four or all four of these four. To express it slightly differently, it can ripen as any of these four, any number of these four, or all four of them. So, for example, as was said previously, if a non-virtuous deed ripens as what we have here as the main effect, or the fully ripened result, or the propelling karma, it will only lead a non-virtuous karmic imprint to rebirth in the lower realms. So let's say one kills, negative deed. If it ripens as the propelling karma, or as the main effect, that will be rebirth in the lower realms. But if it's a karmic cause of killing, ripens, for example, as a causally concordant result, or an environmental result, that can be experienced not only by a being in the lower realms, it can be experienced by being in the happier migrations. So a being in a happier migration, as say a human, can experience the causally concordant result and or the environmental result of a non-virtuous deed such as killing. So the key point being made here, there are two, is that a karmic imprint can ripen in one or more than one of these four ways. If it's non-virtuous, it ripens as a propelling imprint, it will only be in the lower realms. But it can be, a negative imprint can be experienced in the upper realms, but not as a propelling rebirth, but in the second and third types, causally concordant and environmental. We're remaining with the illustration of killing, but this applies to all karmic imprints. So staying with killing. So it's non-virtuous. If it ripens as a main effect or propelling karma, it only lead to rebirth in the lower realms. Depending on the strength of the imprint, which of the lower realms has an impact on which of the lower realms. Let's say then a powerful act of killing leads to rebirth in the lower realms, and then eventually that propelling karma is exhausted, and another imprint, virtuous imprint ripens, propelling rebirth in a happy migration. So now one's born as a human or as a god. So let's say as a human. But that previous act of killing is not exhausted. That previous act of killing can still be experienced now in the human life, in the human existence. And this is, for example, as we have here in the third point, the causally concordant behavioral effect, which is where, due to having great habituation to engage in killing, now one continues with great ease and readiness to engage in killing. One is enjoying the act of killing, it comes easily to oneself, it comes naturally to oneself. So the Tibetan word for what we have translated as the causally concordant behavioral result, it literally contains the word to do. So this, what we have it as behavior, but to emphasize this to do shows the habituation that one has done this a lot, and therefore is habituated to do it. It comes naturally to oneself. So this is how one experiences a causally concordant behavioral effect.
bene lo da da de dinye ya ko de di suye de ko de sa de nyul ta ro di su nyul ta ro di su nyul ta che sa dine sa digi nyongwa gyu ding je bo de la ma zu li ne che de le mil ke ba ne che thong a cha che thong a yung ko de je de
as has been mentioned, the causally concordant result is divided into two. We've looked at the one, that of causally concordant behavioral results. Then the other is causally concordant experiential results. And that then is what we have as the second one, causally concordant experiential effect. So this is where one experiences a result similar to what one oneself did. So again, staying with the act of killing, if now one is born as a human, but experiences the causally concordant experiential result of killing, then that can be experienced as many illnesses or a shorter lifespan. So the lifespan that one has achieved, that one has the potential to fulfill in this life, that it will be unfulfilled because of the ripening effect, this causally concordant experiential effect, ensures or leads to the full duration of our lifespan being unfulfilled, and we end up leading a shorter life.
And simjen soji bi dabi de was kari was ne dago miliki ba ne and denigi chike saya tonya da and denigi sosugi and subulia ne nuba chwa da and sosugi chin ne na se chi me ro sa ba ne me ndigi and nuba shara pan ma to ba and na jugi kala da denigi sedi ne and de kala di nuba chira te ma to che and digi kala gi kien che na zulia subulia never chayada dini yungurias jesa diso and ko dawiti gurias.
Then the third result, so the propelling karma or the fully ripened result, the causally concordant result, and then the third environmental result. So the environmental result that can be experienced in a rebirth as a human of killing would be that one's physically not very strong, not very powerful. One's body is quite weak. Also, the medicine that one takes doesn't have much. The medicine doesn't have much of an impact on one's illness. Tends not to heal one, whereas perhaps it would with others. The food that one eats, that nutritional value, doesn't have much impact on oneself, and one can even become easily ill from food. So these are the environmental results that one experiences and for example, from the non-virtuous act of killing.
다른 저기 심정 소주 집이 도초 심정 소주 숨비기 추림 디게 제보들라 하는 거 가와링 거스네 개와치마 안나 사람이고 wan 된절이야 기야디 내미지고 최대 된절이 기용으래 난 되네게 된절이 기야 돼 되네 답이 되고 가르리기라나 아니 미 된절 기야바이나 된델이야 추림 소야라 가고용으래 제 추림 소야 심정 소주 지메스 소주 소야라야
규든 기대고
답이 되고 답이 되고 될라 가르려 심정 가소래 네 가소래 답이 되고 될라 제바 규딩이 되보다 영어 규딩이 되고 니요로와 가사 그 규딩이 되보들라 제바 규딩이 되보다 영어 규딩이 니용로와 되네자 제바 규딩이 되보들라 가르용 거세네 수림 소야라 가고 있는 거래 예제래 제바 규딩이 되고 되네 영어 규딩이 되보다 가르용 거래 답네 수림 소야라 가와디 제바 규딩이 영어 규딩 될라다 수림 유는 거 소야라 소가용 거와 되네 답이 되보라 가르용 거래세네 되네 델이야 저기 심지 소주 송바 인자 디기 되고라 저기 칼라다 매 진디 사베네 수수불 주다 대바다 안 소수기 저 되스 마디워로 주변에 매도서네 매디기 뉴벌에 판도야 보여하다 안 지게 소소라나기 가소리 매디 사제 네디 사야 네디기 매버서야다 디수용 답이 되고 영화 규정이 되고도 다데 체증화 용으로 체증부 용으로 그래서 심지어 소주 소화제 체증부 제바 규정이 되고들라 심지어 소주 송야라 가와 제바 규정이 영화 규정 되고라 체증화 얘네 답이 되고라 아니 매다 되네게 소소를 수벌에 판도 뉴버치 모여가 디기 매세바네 데스 마디바네로 준네 매세네 맨디기 배지 람로야고 매야고 패지 네디야고 소투야다 어디는 신고를 제로하다.
These three results, that of the fully ripened result, the causally concordant result, and the environmental result, we've looked at then in terms of non-virtue through the illustration of killing. So these same three results apply, of course, to virtuous acts. So the opposite of killing, we'll take then the ethical restraint. So ethical restraint, for example, the commitment not to kill. This leads to a karmic imprint being accumulated, and should that ripen, being a virtuous imprint, the ethical restraint of the restraining from killing, should that ripen as a propelling karma, so the first type, the main effect, would lead to rebirth in a happy migration, such as a human. Then the second result, which will just combine these two of the causally concordant results, which has the two divisions of causally concordant behavioral and causally concordant experiential results, would mean that one has delight in ethics. Maybe a better way to express that, one is naturally ethical. One is inclined towards ethics. One would be perceived and would be a naturally ethical person. And then, so that would be the causally concordant experiential results, and due to the habituation, the behavioral result, one will continue to be ethical. And the causally concordant experiential result of ethical restraint is that one will have a longer life, one will fulfill one's lifespan, whatever that may be, one will fulfill that lifespan, and one will not experience major illnesses or have less illnesses, have better health. So that would be the causally concordant results of ethical restraint, and the environmental results would be the opposite of killing. There's being virtuous. The environmental results would be the food and medicine, for example, would be effective, would be beneficial to one's body. They would have a great impact, a great beneficial impact on one's body, on one's health. So one would be strong. Nutritious food would have the impact of nutritious food. Medicine would have the desired result and would heal one. So what we see here is the results of the virtuous acts and the non-virtuous acts can be experienced in these through the three different types of results, and the way they are experienced are opposite.
구마고 마진바 렘바 리에게 삼다베나 마진바 렘바 디기 다 먼저기 내민이 되고 나서라 깨와래 지바래 내민 되고도 나서 기용그래 다 규딩이 되버들 제바 규딩이 되버들 구마자야래 가와 되네게 나서라 깨제 나서라 타지 밀 깨와이네 한 구마자야래 가와 리기로와 단 제바 규딩 기고 제가 녀마 구마만 못 잡아서디 제비 디다 튕비다 구마자야래 가와 되는 영화 규정이 되고 가려운 거래서는 아니 변조 공부로 그래서 변조 공부 안 공부인 거래서 되네 답이 되고 가려운 거래서는 소수의 직전도로 있다바이네 전도의 뉴바 추주 유용하다 말아봐다 양 직전도 있다바이네 차고 맞아지 템베다전 안디기 매와서야다 양 직지 템버마다 와지 양 직전도 야고 깨면 양 차고 숙지 뭐냐 차고 망차지 양 쳐라 당와도 매와서야다 언데는 신고리에서 지난 답이 되고 들렸더니 모르지.
And then let's look at how these three results are experienced from a different non-virtuous act, that of stealing. So as has been said a couple of times, any non-virtuous act, when it ripens as a propelling karma or has its main effect, it will always be as rebirth in the lower realms. So if an act of stealing ripens in a rebirth, it would only be in the lower realms. The second type, that of causally concordant karma, this in terms of the behavior, one enjoys stealing, one delights in stealing, one is inclined to steal, inclined to take what is not one's own. And then in terms of the experiential result, one always is poor. Even if one gains some wealth, it's quickly lost. One struggles to retain wealth. One lives in poverty. So that would be the causally concordant experiential result. And then an illustration of the environmental effect is the crops in that environment would have a poor yield. They'd be regularly harmed by the elements such as hail and drought and so forth. So these would be some illustrations of the results that would come from stealing. Just to bring out this point, the second type of result, that of causally concordant. So we can see here that where one's natural inclination, if it is towards killing, if it's towards stealing, we can see how one this is a result of a strong habituation to this deed and will lead to the continued accumulation of non-virtue.
Jimbe di doksho de la jimbe nyamlen chebaina nyamlen chedu serna sungora serna sungore jiza deni enza jimbe nyamlen chige debo nemin debo gari ligorasna nganjugi ta jimbe nyamlen chebala tene ane dendule kiya da dene dendule kiya de da dene nemi debo soroche da gyuding debo nyo gyuding debo ina na yaja jimba shanye jimba ta ya kawa ya da jimbe nyamlen jimba ta ya kawa Tene jeba gyudi, nyongwa gyudi debola, ane sosole tungin dike yaku, yohada, tungin yaku yonga chagirwa, nyongwa gyudi debo. Da dakwe debo kar yongwa sosugi dondora, dawa ina dondo dike, ane gyuen shengi nyogen byaba chi debo dike yaku minbada, ane debo yaku, ane deli ya, ane chik tenbada, chulwa la so minyoba chi debo dike yaku mintuya, yaku yonga dike, chasan ane dakwe debo chagirwa.
The opposite of stealing is that of the ethical restraint of restraining from miserliness, and in other words, the act of generosity. So generosity is a virtuous act, of course, and it can be expressed as ethical restraint, the ethical restraint of guarding against the mind of miserliness. So when this ripens, being virtuous, as a fully ripened effect, it ripens in a rebirth and a happy migration. And the experiential result, the causally concordant result rather, would be that one delights in generosity. One is naturally generous. And also, one has an abundance of resources, all required favorable circumstances. And then in terms of the environment, one's environment is plentiful. There's not a shortage of water and food and so forth, and all that there is plentiful and nutritious. Its purpose of sustaining life is readily fulfilled.
다른 쪽에 대보 신리에 대보 중국에 해야 돼. 총벌라 삼다바나 총계야 되게 소속이 다 총계야 돼. 총되게 남려야 보여하다. 이 소속이 경마라와 직수속이 캡산으로 가르스 되어 되게 야고 줄용하되 자격으로 되고.
And similarly, when business endeavors are successful, whatever one engages in is readily achieved. So this is also the results that follow, the experiential results that will follow from, the causally concordant results that will follow from the act of generosity.
Dewi Guni Sessing Sudeba Yigi Gulang Soju Misamos.
So So we'll leave that for there. We'll leave that there. We don't need to go through how these three results are experienced or ripen for all 10 non-virtues and all 10 virtuous deeds. The principle hopefully is clear. So these are good to know and to have some understanding of. So I hope that's clear then. So let's then return to the text and cover something new. And now in the second half of page 25, there's a verse from the chapter of the Truthful One. O king, do not kill, for all that lives cherishes life. If you wish to live long yourself, respect life, and do not even think of killing.
기호군로 손이랍도 방어스네 심지어 수수이나 소소소도 빼 아주 자 침부 쉬우 지섬거레스 지상 자 침부레 자 소소라라고 소 자치셔레스 디네장 빼 지디 자 침부레 디네장 심쟁기 현기 속주기요 말레스.
Looking at the first two lines here, the king is exalted. O king, do not kill, for all that lives cherishes life. The point that's being made here is to understand that no matter what class of being it is, their life is precious to them. They value their life. So this point is being emphasized here at the start of the verse. To understand this from the perspective of others, whomever they are, their lives are precious to them.
데네게 자침 지긴자 데네게 수이네 소소 체령부 되기 삼로치마도 땅아 교고 시우 쳔피 삼로시 용 말에 지자 데네 인자 세선 수디바 이기 불랑 소죄 미삼모 시디 셈낭로리아 공원 점에 심빙의 속주긴 심에 셈전 속주에 파샤 이 속주긴 심비 공원 점에 기교마 삼콜교 말에스 데네 삼마땅아서 그러다.
The concluding couplet, if you wish to live long yourself, respect life, and do not even think of killing. So the link between these two couplets is that be aware that others value their life, just like you value your life too. Be aware that others want to live a full, a long, a healthy, a problem-free life, just as you do too. So see what you value as being valued by others too. And therefore, from deep within yourself, cultivate the firm and stable motivation that I will not kill, I will not bring harm to others. And develop this way so that it is held deep within and thereby is stable and unwavering and always guides you.
And kunlo tsamya miyuwar dumsi mangdo tendi sochiwa pongwa sokewa tada bene chukkuya angside ta dine inza ta jiza dine inza semjian sochiwa siyade sochiwa diba siyade semliyangi dine sochiwa simbe samlo tsamya dine korgyawa kunlo dine chungze kyang samtangyo mares dine ke samtangme sembe yane yado amdo semjian sochiwa sazawa gine jigme sembe yane yado domsim tingole sem mangdo tensi yane yado sam tambure sem dene ke samtaje sochiwa pongwa so sede dene sochiwa pongwa so sede dinanima ane jimba tsuruzuba jimba da ane chasaji sochiwa pongwa sede ma jimba lemba ane ju chama tsikzu nga kya 제가 아직 링의 유스미 예주 주가 송기인 선배기 대시 소주라 셰바 나신진 빈 소주기 선배 심지 굴론자 마삼바 나신 디나신 구마구인사다 다 링의 유스미 예주 미겨 주버 차상 디니 지긴 선배 삼로 굴론자면 콜겨 말레스 디네스 야네야도 삼다 dom제 디지비 선배 야네야도 삼다 동구리지 베네 주방시도 다 데네 베주 침비진에 데니게 냠는 제시 아스거다.
The author of our text writes here, as said here, rely upon an attitude resolved not to entertain thoughts of any harmful action, such as killing and the other non-virtues. Abandon all forms of non-virtue and strive with all your might to actualize goodness. So this is an important point that has been made very clearly here, that one is being encouraged here to make great effort to develop ethical restraint within oneself, this commitment not to bring harm to others, and to develop this in a way that is deep felt, that is transformative, that governs the decisions one makes, governs the interactions that we have with others at all times, not just in front of others, but when alone too, that we don't even allow harmful thoughts to dominate within us. So this is a key point to make. So as has been said tonight and in every talk, for transformation to come, one needs to reflect repeatedly over a sustained period. This serves many purposes, makes us habituated to a particular way of thinking, virtuous way of thinking, or weakens our habituation to non-virtuous ways of thinking. But in addition to this, as we become more habituated to a particular way of thinking, or no, let's put it this way, as we repeatedly engage in meditating on the same point, we will naturally start to understand that point in subtler levels. And therefore, we will start to be aware of the subtler non-virtuous minds and the need to restrain ourselves from engaging in them. Likewise, we will thereby be aware of the subtler virtuous minds that we need to cultivate, become habituated to. So therefore, as always, one is encouraged to engage in repeated meditation, because not only does one become habituated to the virtuous topic, but one's understanding becomes more profound. And the transformation is heartfelt, and not just changes how we behave on a coarse level, on an obvious level, but even the subtler levels. There we have inner transformation as well. And here, as it says explicitly in the text, what we have discussed tonight is primarily through the illustration of killing and not killing, but this must be understood to relate to all forms of non-virtue, such as the 10 non-virtues, with their subtler levels. So all forms of non-virtue, whether physically expressed, verbally expressed, or mental, and likewise with their opposing virtuous minds. We need to develop a powerful mind of restraint, ensuring that our mind and our physical and verbal behavior remains virtuous and doesn't go in a non-virtuous way. And this is something that we must strive with all our might to accomplish.
개화 제반은 대부 된데 연구를 해야지. 왜냐면 저기 심지어 소주 소비게 추림 소바이나 니 대부를 가려운 것은 개화치마 된들을 연구를 해야지. 다는 된들을 개바이나 니 대부 아니야 답이 대부 가려운 것은 더노 심지어 심지어 소주 소화를 가부 연구를 했어. 안에 체령화 요하다. 안 소수기 내나서 용화 안 되니게 되었습니다. 내나서 중고에 면주지야다. 되는지 면주 남로 약고요. 내디 약부자도 연구를 지사 되니자 어느 나라 저기 수준소와이나 디기 대부대 아들의 디기 연구도 되네자 도스체 연구를 해서 삼다. 다 소주 제바이나 디 대부 남이 되고 가와지 나서는 기고래. 지사 디 나서는 기. 나서 동안 빠도 매번 연구를 하고 그랬어. 다 나서는 타지 밀리지 개바 이나양 다위 되고래 양게 가서래. 가 규정이 되고래 양게 소주 제바라 가우기에 가와요다. 아니 아직 밀리게와는 세통하라서 봐. 내나서 중요하다. 내나서 뭐고요야. 아니 내나서 뭐 면주지 제네 면기하고 팔마도 봐. 아니 지게 되니게 강아 뭐고야 차다. 언두순 고래에서 비 소제비기 제비 디버기 되버되는 연구도 다 소주 법이 수rim이 되버되는 연구도 니나시 다 마지막으로 구마자바이나 디기 되고 가서는 게 아니 가서는 게야다. 안디 가서는 게 되는 타네 밀리게와이나 구마자바라 가고 Kumacheva, Kumacheva, and Yakama Tigua, Tim Diada, Mieda Diada, Mamotigo, Denegada, and de Maji and Dimazi di Guding Tibolia and the chicken, Casore, Yon Guding Tibotella, and the Benjo, Ganga, Doge, Gama Botea. And the Nigi, Ajik Dawe Tibolia, Sosuki, Donoro, Tap Sosuki, Chitsoro, Javene, Lambria, Majoje, and Sosuki Tuagi, Jebutiki, Yakumayoa, and the chick, Denige Gangatea, all those chene, and Ungores and Bigge, that do some diet, Majimba Big Tibudine de Ungores. Cesa Dineza, Tibudine on the Milikevana Gangadu, Cesa Nasola Kenda Ganga, Milikeva Ganga Dinzada, Majibale Sawak in Chikimidu. Sojo Jebana, Ningaso Duma in Yongodu, Cesa that Dineza, Milikeva Inaya, Dinity Dumayo, Cesa Sojo Sajawa Chikimidu, Samade, Shuchel little, Diniki Tibuti, some Dana, the Cutie Paya, Dubatu, Shucheli or Dinajenda, and to get. Surim Soa and Surim Subi and Yawachimala, Dendroliki, Gap Dele, Surim Sola Kawa, Settingua, Suzuki and Gine, Nua, Mancheva Garden, Lamluka, Chavada. That Jibi Yaman Jibi, Jewudi, Yawachimala, that Jiki, Dendroliki, Cavalena, Yakachima Tola Shale, Chimbata, Kawachi, Shale, Pempe, Chavachi, Rankiwa, Mishanda, Dewatea, Diki Tuya. And then you get so in a long jail of Kumbumeba, long jig, Yakuya. And the Sosuki that Shingaru, Tabeata, Songro, Javin, Sosuki Yaga, Lambro Yakuya, Jebuti, Yakuya, all those young good SMJ. Dini Zadanazuki, Cedilia, Chimataya, Kawada, Lonje, Yakuta, Sosuki, Jiglegata, Songro, Kevin Dikita, Dunda Tata Trutun, Dinazul Guru, Jedi Diniza, and Jibiam and Jehudu Sempegi. Samtana, the Nigi, Jibiam, but doing you sharing water. The names are the Gundige sometimes, so Gundige sometimes, you did it in the Debudinity, the Yungur, you did it, they didn't the Yungur Sempegi, two and Debujuna sometimes. Debu Yakuchunguena, Gudile, Bezu, Donia, Dubaki, or Daddy Jewels, Donia, Dubalet water. Jewu Dukja, Kamachi, Tony, or Daddy Gudi, DJ Minu Sempegi, Jedugi, Delet. Jim Matuba, the Pont de Saba little word. So that the names are Gundiga some died, Yana, some down with Bemas Kitchen or the Kitchen Yana Yanakazi, some of the Gazi, Gundiga, some of the Gazi, Nuba, some of Shuche let to be Soadia, Manzuki, Kawad to be a Doniga Sword, Shucheli or Dumba Shucheli or Migawa the Pont de Dumbadi, Shucheli or the names are Kawad Shuche, Dumbakazi Shuchena, give it Jawalia. Yana, Jaya, Yohachada, Muti the Jaya Chadakura, Dineza, not to Geshe Rubiala, Lake some Dankore said the Gimsendo Dinity. Says that Dinigin to Geshe Ruzo and Gavakaze, Manga Satur, Manga Satu, Anzulia, Digishu Sheda, Tarbata, Tamjaki, Tovalea, and Tanya Kurova. On Dineza, Danazuki, Dine some Daje, Naziana Yandu, Geshe Rubiala, Bezuchia Goedi. Get more yes at that dinner, she had it in a ritual.
Summarize what we've looked at tonight then. In order to transform ourselves, to really transform our outlook and thereby our behavior, comes about independence on making great effort over a sustained period. So in the particular, this topic here of cause and effect is of particular importance. The way then to experience the benefit of this talk and the previous 3 talks on causality is to meditate on results, starting with results. Thinking about what it is that one wants to achieve, what it is that one wants to experience, what it isn't that what it is that one does not want to experience. So here we reflect on the results that come from the non-virtuous deeds, such as killing. That if one kills, one will be born in the lower realms and experience unimaginable suffering. No one wants this. And even if another imprint, a virtuous imprint, leads to rebirth as a human, but then as in the life of a human, previously accumulated acts of killing ripen, one will not live out one's lifespan. One will delight in killing, take pleasure in killing, and thereby create ever more causes to suffer. One's medicine and food will be ineffective. And likewise with stealing. If one commits a non-virtuous act of stealing, that will lead to rebirth in the lower realms. And again, if a virtuous imprint leads to a rebirth as a human, but then the non-virtuous imprints of stealing ripens, one will experience poverty. All one's endeavors will be unsuccessful, one's business will be unsuccessful, one will have insufficient circumstances to practice, and moreover, one will delight in stealing. It will come naturally to one. Hence, further causes of suffering will be accumulated. And then likewise, the same three results are applied to all non-virtuous deeds. But the opposite is also the case. If one develops the ethical mind, the mind of ethical restraint, restraining from taking life, restraining from harming others with our body, with our speech, and even our way of thinking, where one develops the ethical restraint of restraining from miserliness and practicing generosity. When we think about those results, when these and all other virtuous acts ripen in their fully ripened effect, or as a propelling karma, leads to a desired rebirth as a human or God. And it ensures that we live out our lifespan, that we live in an environment that's pleasing, that we have abundance of resources, favorable circumstances, our lives are healthy and long. We delight in virtue, we delight in generosity, we delight in being ethical. We're naturally ethically inclined, naturally generous, naturally non-miserly. So when we think about the results, immediately we think, that's the kind of person I would like to be. Those are the habituated ways of thinking I wish I had naturally, as well as the favorable circumstances around me, because they will aid my spiritual progression and enable me to be of ever greater benefit to others, be of ever greater meaningful impact on others. So this comes about due to reflecting, this way of thinking comes about due to reflecting on cause and effect, meditating on cause and effect, thinking firstly about the results. These are the results I want to avoid, I do not want to experience. These are the results I desire, I long for. Giving rise to this desire for particular results leads us to seek out the causes, the unwanted causes, the desired causes, and thereby seeing both the results and the causes, through meditating on these repeatedly, leads to a strength of mind. I will abandon the accumulation of these causes, and I will strive to adopt or cultivate these, or to express it differently. Through meditating repeatedly over a sustained period on the suffering results, happy results, the causes that lead to suffering, and the causes that lead to happiness, leads to a profound commitment to abandon the afflicted minds, not just the coarse ones, the subtler ones too, and always be on guard for the potential arisal of the afflicted minds, because these are the causes of suffering, these are the causes for unwanted results. And thereby it becomes easy for us to know that this is the time of great danger, this is the time when I can or I may come under the influence of the afflictions. I must guard my mind and ensure that rather the causes of happiness are cultivated. In other words, the virtuous minds such as ethical restraint, such as generosity, patience, love and compassion. I keep these dominant within myself, because these minds alone lead to the causes of happiness, and when they're expressed through my physical and verbal behavior, they lead to further causes of happiness, benefit to others. So this is the great benefit that comes from reflecting on cause and effect. So therefore, to conclude, my deep hope that you take what is presented in these classes, meditate on them every day, strengthening your habituation to virtuous minds, and weakening and eventually eliminating the afflicted minds within.
Oh yeah. All right, that didn't.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.